Welcome everybody to the Give It Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, guys, you are most certainly welcome here. We are your hosts of the most, Showa Guy Joe, Tafari TV, and myself, Black Spartan. Fellas, it is officially the mother freaking weekend, and I will drink to that. But how you fellas feeling?
Hey, happy Pie Day.
Happy Pie Day indeed. Joe?
5 hours of overtime, and I still can't feel my knees.
Damn.
So far, mine still work. So 30s are going great.
Oh, they work. I just can't feel them anymore.
The check engine lights doesn't came on yet. That being said, guys.
Yo, where every time I stand up, someone's behind me with a bundle of twigs, snapping them slowly as I stand.
That being said, guys, we are a little bit more leveled up, which means that sometimes we do watch our language, although words do fly. At the same time, guys, we do show trailers for movies and video games that might be too much for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, how we start this, guys? Mortal Kombat. Yep, Mortal Kombat 1. We actually did get a full viewing of the official T1000 trailer. And as Joe called a long time ago, it's just basically Galatius with a skin. But still, kind of worth watching.
Your shape-shifting is so elegant, so refined.
It makes us more efficient killers.
Fight!
Have you seen John Connor?
John Connor? Dude, you've got Johnny Cage.
You're not a man. You're a machine.
A T1000 advanced prototype, liquid metal.
Finish him! Fatality. 1000 wins. Flawless victory.
All right, guys. So that was the trailer for the combat trailer for the T1000, coming to Mortal Kombat very soon. Me and Joe called this a long time ago that, yeah, it was, you're basically fighting Galatius. You're basically Galatius with Killer Instinct, just with a few more different moves. Fellas, does this inspire you guys? Because we did kind of clown on Mortal Kombat about how they did Conan the Barbarian and how it looked, and it looks like they did hear a lot of people's complaints and try to improve on this. Is it a step in the right direction, or is it just like let's just wait for the end?
Did he not clash with Conan in that trailer? Because that feels like a missed opportunity.
No,
that's a different clip.
Yeah,
it's a special interaction clip because he flat out says you look like the T-800.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was like, I thought I saw it in one of the thumbnails, but yeah, I mean, this is the last one, or do we still have more characters?
That's it.
That's it. After T-1000, that's all the support that Mortal Kombat 1 is getting, according to NetherRealm Studios.
Probably not the greatest to go out on. I think they definitely peaked in Season 1, especially those who know Glacius. Probably familiar with it. You'll buy it for nostalgia, or whenever they do the discount, buy it all at once pack. Still nice to have it. At this point, they're gonna keep canceling the games this fast. Just take all your extra fighters and make the Warner Brothers fighting game. Just put all the horror movie characters. Put Alien. Put Predator. Put Jason. Put Freddy. Just if y'all are gonna keep teasing us like this, just to not support it after the money rolls in, knock it off.
Well, that was the problem. The money didn't roll in because this was looked on very unfavorably compared to Mortal Kombat 11, and even then 11 was looked on very unfavorably compared to Mortal Kombat 10, which was probably their most successful Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but Afterlife saved 11 though.
Yeah. Me personally, I'd rather play as Madame Bo.
Although no one's going to talk about the fact that her kind of in-depth move was basically the slipper, and I'm like, so y'all really just ripped off Kung Fu Hustle and think we didn't notice?
Oh no, being beaten with the slipper by a little old Asian lady is tradition. My grandmother would toss the slipper before she even came into the room, and that's not me referencing Black Dynamite.
I mean, you're right though, but I'm sorry. So far, what are you gonna say?
I'll say, how much of this beating is her fighting style, and how much of it is trauma people faced at home?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B. Just notice how that cigarette never leaves her mouth.
Right. Although I still say the Lion's Roar was still a missed opportunity. That's all I'm saying. Still a missed opportunity. But anyway, if you are interested, that T-1000 will become available, guys. Again, Mortal Kombat 1 started off great, and then I don't know what happened between that and Chaos Reigns. It just didn't really add up to anything.
It's because Chaos Reigns was lackluster.
That's true. That is also true. But things that we didn't expect, Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up. Tafari, I know you've seen it. Before we play the trailer, just to remind everybody what it's about, what were your impressions of the movie, sir? And does it mean that we need to protest harder against Wile E. Coyote versus Acme?
Yeah, it is very clear they did not want this movie to come out. It is supposed to be in the vault with Coyote versus Acme and Batgirl. I don't know who went into the vault and leaked the Powerpuff Girls live action. We didn't need that at all. You chose the left door when you should have chose the right during your Telltale gameplay. It's a good movie. I don't get, because Looney Tunes has been their bread and butter since the 1930s. I don't get why. It works well, especially for a film that is Looney Tunes minus Bugs Bunny. It works well.
And yet, for some odd reason, they choose to keep, you know what, let me shut up, because until somebody goes back into the WB vault and actually does us right, we get stuff like this. But for all those that are need a reminder of what The Day the Earth Blew Up looked like, here's the trailer that hopefully will entice you guys to see it this weekend.
UFO!
Time for the next phase of my plan. Nothing can stop me now.
I hope that shatterproof glass can withstand the abuse. Mother! Looks like it's up to us to save the Earth. Oh, it was nice knowing you guys. Now who gets what? Situation is under control. There's no way we could screw this up.
Boy, that almost blew up in our...
And all I can sit there and say is, if this messes up my plans for tomorrow to go bowling for my birthday, this is going to be a happy little medium to just do in place of this. But that was, guys, the trailer for Let's Get Loony, The Day the Earth Blew Up. As Tafari has said, as he's seen it, it is definitely worth watching. And you got the poster fast as all get out.
Well, because like I didn't again. So I went to a matinee because I was like I had stuff to do today, and it was like the only time I had. As I walk in the theater, I see these stack of posters. Usually Cinemark leaves them by the ticket counter, but I guess they're being like stingy now, so they keep it the usher. And I'm like, are these for the movie? He's like, yeah, go ahead, take one. I'm like, so I checked their Twitter, and I think like yesterday they just tweeted out, certain Cinemark theaters, if you go, the first 50 people get a poster, which is, I think, less than the Sonic and Transformers movies gave out, because they usually have like oodles of them. So it's like a lot of last minute promos rolling out. So again, Friday matinee, people are at work and school, so there was only me and 4 other people in the theater. And the 4 other people in there didn't know. And I had to tell them on the way out, I'm like, by the way, y'all know y'all can ask for one of these, right? So, but it's overall a good film. It's a good, solid, full-on 2D animation film. So this is coming from somebody whose favorite movie is Space Jam. I also very much like Looney Tunes back in action in 3rd grade. Also, they very much play on this Daffy and Porky friendship that they've really established the last like decade. If you watch the Looney Tunes show, it kind of reminds you a little bit of that, because there's a whole thing in there about them basically trying to get jobs just to pay their bills. And they also kind of touch on the fact that like in the last decade and a half, they've kind of, Daffy and Porky have this friendship where Daffy just does what he wants and Porky just puts up to it to his detriment. Yeah. And they kind of make them both address in this film that, hey, that's kind of not cool or okay for you to just keep doing and then wondering why when things get important, they try to leave you out of stuff. Another character that doesn't really get a spotlight but is very prominent in this film is Petunia, who usually only shows up to be like a love interest for Porky in like short bursts, but she actually takes like a major role into this.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of classic Looney Tunes bits and funny stuff and soundtracks and sound effects you'll recognize. A lot of new stuff they worked in. Like at one point, they're trying to figure out how to earn money, and there's a joke about, oh, we could try being influencers. You just got to get the look. And they start trying to do like TikTok dances and fail immediately. So it's a lot of funny stuff. Then there's the whole bit about aliens. Nobody believes Daffy when they're trying to figure it out, and then when they realize it's time to save the Earth, no one wants to believe in Daffy. It's chaos ensues. It is a good hour and a half. It doesn't drag. It goes by kind of fast. It's the Looney Tunes you know and love. I just don't get why they are acting like they never wanted it to come out.
Okay, Joe, anything you want to add to that, or would you be inclined to see it? You muted, Joe.
I just look forward to being able to see it soon.
Sweet. I think, like I said, if the way the weather goes, hopefully the weather isn't bad tomorrow, but hey, it's a nice alternative because I definitely want to check that movie out as well. But speaking of movies, we're going to keep with it because Spider-Man 4 has announced the casting, and that casting is Sadie Sink. If you recognize her, she's in Stranger Things, the thing that we hope to see before these kids wind up going to college at this rate. Anyway, she has been casted to star in the next Spider-Man 4 movie alongside Tom Holland. Let's be honest, she's a redhead. There's only probably one role she's going to wind up playing, and it's speculated that she will do Mary Jane. Fellas, I will ask this question just because, again, this is a rumor as far as who she's be playing. She has been casted in the movie, but they have not said officially if she will be playing Mary Jane Watson. My question to you guys, do we believe that they have found a Mary Jane Watson, or is this one big-ass distraction that she could be playing another character in Spider-Man 4?
I'm not 100%. Who is this person, and why is everybody like about it?
Well, Sadie Sink is the one that was Max in Stranger Things, the one that was Caleb's character that was kind of involved with, and his brother, the brother was just pretty much a dick the entire show.
Okay, I was like, I know this character from somewhere, but why is everybody so like, for the love of God, no? I'm like, If anything, we can have a Mary Jane. I'm looking to see if we introduce a Felicia at all.
See, that's what makes me think, and I'm with this. Like I said before, they haven't confirmed whether or not it's Mary Jane Watson. She could be Felicia. Just again, they recognize because they see someone with red hair. You're thinking, okay, redhead, immediately Mary Jane. But I want to say this is probably one big ass 180. Like I think that she might be Felicia Hardy. She might be a completely different character in 4 whatsoever. But I don't think because everybody immediately assumed, okay, red hair. Oh, she's going to be Mary Jane. Of all people, and let's be honest, Mary Jane is kind of that character role that they always think that somebody better could play it. And Kirsten Dunst, give her all her respect on the Sam Raimi run. You did great. Can't knock it. At the same time, you had Zendaya play Mary Jane, although that also was a red herring until Far From Home. Again, not a problem. But folks will always have an issue with whoever is getting picked to play that iconic role. But Joe, I'll toss this to you. Do you think this is a role, or do you think they're going to put her somewhere else?
She's Angelica Jones, Firestar.
Dang. I didn't even think about that.
Which is a redhead that Peter knows only through Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
I didn't even make that connection. And yeah, that could be it too. That also, you know what? If it is that tells me that someone has done their research.
That or people are thinking she's Jean Grey. And that's how we're slowly introducing. It's like,
yeah, no.
She may be a little older.
That's a yeah, no. But I mean, I want to see it. I want to see what role she's in. But let's be honest, there's not much that is known about Spider-Man 4 right now. We know Tom Holland's coming back. We know we don't know, as far as other characters at this point. The script itself, if there is a script, nobody's talking about it. So it's just one big ass secret for the moment.
We do know it's filming at the end of this year because it's supposed to be out July next year.
Right. So
this is going to come out before other Spider-Man movies.
Go ahead and say it. Go on and say it because you literally beat me by half a second. Go on and say it.
This is coming out before Beyond the Spider-Verse because at this point, no one is actually recognizing Shameik Moore anymore. Like I'm starting to see more artwork of Prowler Miles, and everybody's starting to ask like, who's a different voice actor? Like, can we just use him moving forward?
I feel bad for Shameik. I feel bad for Moore. I'm like, man, you
don't, because he's the one instigating all this stuff.
He is, but he's friends.
He has like one controversy per film, and it's just like he had to pick this one that involved multiple women. Like you had to grab the girl that was the love interest in the first Spider-Man, Tom Holland, that we all forgot about. Like, when did y'all even cross paths? Like, and for what reason?
But that was the problem. I'm like, dude, you need friends that can take away your phone from you.
Anime boy on your own time. You are affecting the job. I mean, that's also in addition with the animation team and other production problems are going on, but mostly your main voice actors being problematic.
It's no different than old boy on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, where he tried to go to Straw Hat Goofy and defend his point. He's had great PR training, and then he found the right person to pretty much softball him questions. But that's neither here nor there. But
the thing, I don't know who has set Tony Weaver Jr. off this year, but that man is not fucking around with anybody. The amount of comment sections I have seen Mountain Lady Hat in just on everyone's ass. I don't know what's going on in the world of libraries and illustrations, but I'm very much here for Tony Two-Tap Weaver. That man sat there and said, "I said what I said," and has no problem repeating it. I'm all for it. Yeah, that's a great line from your publicist. You said a whole lot of nothing. I'm like, Tony's doing this with me? I was like,
I missed something. What are we talking about?
So Tony Weaver Jr., the guy with the Mountain Lady hat that has the book out called Weirdo.
All his videos end with "Go get therapy."
Yeah, go get some therapy. That guy.
Yeah,
Also, really quick, Weirdo, please go check it out. Except it's a really good book by him, but if you haven't had a chance to read, you really should. But I'm sorry, Tafar, what were you gonna say?
he very much does videos like that where he'll address things in his own manner. He never really goes out of his way to like chirp in people's comment sections, but he's been doing a lot more lately. So he was under that same post, like, wow, that said a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, his publicist definitely gave him like ways to like spider sense dodge questions. So it's very interesting to see him take the hard route on addressing issues.
Yeah, but like I said, they picked the right person to softball him. But no, but you're right, Joe. He does need to stop before he kills what is still a great franchise. Between Into and Across the Spider-Verse, those are both two great movies, and we want to see Beyond the Spider-Verse. Yes, we know budgets and things of that nature are pushing everything back, but Mr. Moore, you're not helping a burning bridge when you're pouring gasoline on it. I'm just saying. Please, go in the words of Tony Weaver, get some therapy, go off somewhere where there's no cell service for a little while. That's all we have.
Leonardo him.
Say what?
I can't wait till they Leonardo him in the movie.
I just, like I said, we're rooting for you, Mr. Moore. Please, we're rooting for you. Even Jonathan Majors making come back. Come on now.
Leonardo.
No, explain why you said they helped Leonardo him, Joe.
Because Jason Bateman got into some controversy, and then when Leonardo got beat up in the 2000 CGI version, he got punched. They swapped his voice actor to Seth Green and said it was due to smoke damage to his throat.
Okay, because I don't know. I missed like one arc of that show, and every time I came back, somebody was dying, and then we were getting a reset world, and I did.
You came during the Triceratops season 4.
I remember that there's like, hey, we're gonna nuke the world, and Shredder's like, cool. Need to stab the rat first. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, I remember seeing that, like, oh yeah, it's Seth Green now because his internal organs were damaged so bad in the fight with Shredder. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know he got in trouble though. I thought he just got tired of it, and I had no idea that he was.
No, he didn't quite get Me Too, but he said something he shouldn't have, and Nickelodeon was like, Seth, you're up.
Yeah, Nickelodeon put that kibosh on there real quick. But again, Mr. Moore, please, sir, sit down somewhere and just find another love interest that's not a part of a movie. But that being said, we do have another trailer, Lilo and Stitch, the live action version, which again, I'm gonna get you guys' opinions on this. I know me and Tafar, we saw some bird's eye view, but Joe, I want your opinions on this as well. On does it make you want to watch a live action Disney movie?
We have apprehended a dangerous experiment. Where is he?
He escaped.
He's trying to find the police cruisers.
He took the red one.
What hideous planet is caught in your crosshairs?
A shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
What the hell?
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
Get down from there.
Look like an angel.
No. Control him. Hey, what are you doing? No. Dog's on the table.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
Rough.
Ew. We are not keeping this thing.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind
Or forgotten.
Stitch bad.
Sometimes family isn't perfect. That doesn't mean they aren't good.
Family.
That was close. I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
Cobra Bubbles.
We have a blue dog to catch.
No, wait!
No. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3, Stitch. 1.
All right, guys, that was the trailer for Lilo and Stitch. Live action will be in theaters May 23rd. Fellas, I know Tafari, you've seen it. Joe, want to know your impressions? Is Disney actually hitting a home run with live action replays of previous movies, or is this a cash grab that won't net much?
We all know Snow White is pretty much dead on arrival.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you the full funeral report on Tuesday. They invited me to a screening.
Got it. But this actually looks good because this is not like a full 1-to-1 remake.
Mm-hmm.
Lilo is already a fun property to do. I saw a lot of people were really upset that Pleakley wasn't in Dragon. Like, this is like the first time you see him for like 5 seconds. Give it a moment.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with this is, why is Ving Rhames not Agent Bubbles? He still looks the part and can do it.
I'm assuming I said this on Blurred's Eye View, I'm going to say it here. I think he's still filming Mission Impossible because Tom Cruise doesn't know when to quit.
Sure.
I think he's stuck there.
Tom has them like in space with like jetpacks linked to each other, like arm in arm filming, so nobody can go home at this point, because he was like the perfect casting that everyone was asking for. Yeah,
to actually see a real life Agent Bubbles, and nothing against the actor that's getting the role to do it, but it's like we kind of wanted the guy that looks like Mr. Bubbles. Not saying that you can't do it, but we get it. Conflicts, Tom Cruise, you can only do so much. The check's already been cashed.
Yeah, that was the only thing that bothered me about that. It was like, why is Ving Rhames not doing this?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because I had to go back. I was like, didn't Ving Rhames do Agent Bubbles? But again, I could be wrong.
We don't see Gantu.
That also,
at least not in the trailer.
I thought that's who the other guy who turned out the disguise was.
No, that's Jamba.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think they're saving that for a trailer closer to, because think about it. I think that first scene with the escape would be our introduction to basically the entire Alien cast, and they're either probably still working on it or perfecting some of those models. I like that they kept the guy who always loses his ice cream. I like that he's making a comeback.
That scene where he sees an alien is like, yeah. Although, shoot, I couldn't imagine dropping my snow cone, but yeah, coming. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tafar.
I'll say, and then with Moana being as successful as it was, and like, what is it? I think they put out trailers, and that was it. I think this will be fine. I believe the plushie market will go crazy for Stitch.
Of course.
I do hope that with seeing how successful Moana was, I do hope they let them keep more of the cultural bits this time around. Like the deleted scene in the first movie where Lilo basically trolls the racist tourist, and then Bubbles is like, "Why are you like this?" And she's like, "If you lived here, you'd understand."
The adult jokes.
Killing Pudge the fish, you can keep that on the cutting room floor. Nobody needed to see that.
So,
although
I did just watch Moana 2.
Yeah, we did too at the house. It was
good.
I
gotta say, it's just Frozen 2, but replace racist grandpa with angry thunder god.
Yes. But it was still good, though. It was still good. I will say this. They did go a certain route with Moana 2. They had that one song that was an earworm stuck in people's ears. But I mean, it was still good. I mean, me and the family enjoyed it. We thought it was great.
I really wanted the big Polynesian dude to be voiced by Patrick Warburton, so he could have like Polynesian Crunk. Because he just seemed the type.
Why am I just the whole thing of him being you're talking about the one that was the painter, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
I feel castings that they should have done. Either that person was busy or they just couldn't get a hold of them. Because, like, for everyone talking about that one song that no one could stand in The Little Mermaid, and I'm like, I get it. The world is kind of just like off the top rope every time Awkwafina gets cast in anything. But if that's the vocal direction you wanted, you could have gotten that from Cree Summer with no effort.
She was fine in Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh no, she was fine. I'm saying, but the voice, what they did for Scuttle, it sounded like Awkwafina doing her best Cree Summer impression.
Yeah,
because you couldn't get Cree Summer, and then I'm like, Cree, who also does music and has an album and used to sing as Foxy Love and sings as all her characters. So there's. Did you see the live action Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
Joe?
No, and not because I have anything against it. It's just I don't really support the live action remakes.
That's
in
fine.
General.
That's fine. There's just a song where she literally is like squawking throughout it, and that's like part of the chorus. And it just a lot of people were just like, there was basically the whole thing. So the movie's great. There's one song towards the end you're going to hate with the passion, and it was the way but the way they did her voice, I'm like, you could have gotten her right there, because you could have gotten it more authentically with less effort, especially if you were going to give her a musical number that relied on that vocal direction.
Right.
Same way we feel about Ving Rhames not being Bubbles.
You know, while we're on this, sorry, Will, I don't mean to interrupt. One last thing. We probably should have done the live-action remake of Emperor's New Groove before Eartha Kitt passed away, because she could have just been straight up Yzma.
She could have.
That's that Treasure Planet and what? There's Atlantis. Even Kree is like, they never talk about me as a Disney princess, even though I was literally a princess of my own kingdom.
Actually, that was the other thing. Is also Patrick Warburton could have been Krunk. It can still be Krunk because he's still got the body for it too.
Yeah, I just not thought about that. Yes, Cree Summer's character is a Disney princess, and they don't mention it.
They don't mention the princess the princess from Black Cauldron almost ever. So,
and that's also you know what? Wow, Disney kind of dropped the ball on that one. But wow.
And
they said, you get your 7 that we picked for Kingdom Hearts, and we will acknowledge nobody else.
Pretty much.
I'm still waiting for them to do a Black Cauldron thing, and they just it's like several months after you get out of that world, several months later, and 5 therapists.
Jesus. Well, speaking of therapists, guys, we do have the trailer for Devil May Cry on Netflix. There have been some mixed reviews about this, but I haven't seen it. Tafara, have you seen it?
The trailer or the show? Are they both? Is the show out?
Show's not out yet. Show will be out. The actual animated series from Netflix will be out in April.
Okay, I thought I'd missed the ball already because I see people talking about it, but if it's a new trailer, that's why. I haven't seen it. Apparently, I heard Kevin Conroy's got a voice in here somewhere.
That's the thing. It's like this was supposed to be one of his final works. But if you haven't seen it, guys, here is the trailer for Netflix's Devil May Cry.
This gentleman is your primary objective. He's a top-level threat. Engage him with the full brunt of your firepower.
I work better with music.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
Here we stand on the threshold of a new age. The age of the demon.
My army is about to descend on this city, causing unimaginable death. Unless Dante comes to meet us first.
Me against an entire army. Sounds easy enough. Let's dance.
Yeah!
Damn, he's cool.
I know better than to trust the demon. Death and destruction is the core of your nature.
I know all about demons' nature. I'm not one of them. Ripped and irresistible dreamboat, I know. You still can't just tear a guy's clothes off.
This world's reckoning is already in motion. All you can do is ease its passing.
Dante, leaving so soon? We have much to catch up on, brother.
This is my last resort.
All right, fellas, that was the Netflix trailer for Netflix's Devil May Cry. Will be available to stream come April the 3rd. How are we feeling? Are we satisfied? Are we worried? Or, could it have been a better song choice for the trailer?
I'm not mad at it. It's very much giving that early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, where it's like, we'll take the show. We're not licensing the music as well. Here's all these alternate and rock bands we'll put in place. But being that this was my introduction to Dante, it very much gives me all the silliness but explosion action of Beautiful Joe, where he was added in as basically like an extra character to play as in story mode. So I like it. I think it's fine. For the love of God, I know you animation grifters need somewhere to go now that Invincible's done. Please don't come over here.
Joe, what do you think?
It's fine. I'm kind of curious. We got Johnny Young Bosch back. Why can't we get what are they called? What's he called? Eric from Time Force, the Quantum Ranger, to come back and voice Virgil again?
That's a good question. I assume either tied up, or I assume that they just didn't reach out to him.
I like that we get Lady back.
True.
That's nice. It's a different interpretation of Lady. Apparently she's with the Special Forces thing, who kind of also looks like a Power Ranger. She looks like she took her armor from the Blue Centurion.
Very much.
Also, kind of looks like they have a Power Ranger or Ginyu Force version of demons to fight Dante.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I'm kind of holding judgment on this. Like, it kind of reminds me of Devil May Cry 3 as far as where they're going with it, with his awakening, and the fact that, his brother is still, not knightish as he was back in 1 and then 2, 3, and so forth. It's a different way of them telling Dante's story. So that's why I'm willing to see where they go with it. It's just that I just like the song choice. I'm used to having Devil May Cry used to have some kick-ass soundtracks. I'm just like, and you went with Papa Roach. Nothing against Papa Roach. I actually like some of their songs. But again, how you introduce a show depends on song choice. James Gunn taught us that. If you don't pick a fire soundtrack to go with it, it might turn people off. But again, say what?
Apparently Tony Todd's in this as well.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia. Tony Todd may be voicing something. He may be voicing like a demon or something. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Or if he's voicing no, I doubt they bring that character.
The weird thing is this is now Johnny Young Bosch's second time voicing somebody in the Sparta family.
Yep. But as long as he still sticks with Bleach, I still need the rest of my 1,000-Year Blood War. I need the rest of it.
Yeah. Slight sidetrack. Don't go around telling people on the internet you have a 100-hour preview of your new Bleach game.
You saw that too.
Bandai Namco will immediately go, really now?
I thought they sent him a code and he was like announcing, hey, so I got to like do some trial run. Apparently they were just like, middle finger to you, buddy.
That man is dead.
that man is RIP. That they apparently Bandai Namco enlisted the same people that were about to leave GTA 6. They come up missing.
That man's in the Soul Society right now.
He's not even there. He's been dropped off at the other end of Snake Way first, and they told him to walk.
So the question I still have about that game, because it's still not obvious to me. Is this a anime arena fighter, or is this a 8-way Soul Calibur Tekken fighter? I don't know what it is yet.
I don't either. I'm waiting to play it just to see so I can finally have an idea of it because, no offense, the trailers that they put out, they've been helpful as far as showing what you can do, but not really explaining what you can do or explaining how the fights are, explaining exactly what the game's about. Maybe it's one of those you need to find out when you play it types. Okay, cool if it is, but I'm just saying trailers will make or break people getting involved in things, but we will see. But again, with Devil May Cry, we'll definitely see what's going on with that come April 3rd. We do have some TV spots for video games. The first one from Xenoblade Chronicles 10 Definitive Edition. And words are hard for me right now, but if you know Xenoblade Chronicles 10, this is the X. You know what I'm trying to get at. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm stuck on Roman numerals. But anyway, if you have a Switch, it's coming to it.
Earth has been destroyed, but a few managed to escape. Now, stranded on the alien planet Mira, the survivors must adapt to their new home, explore uncharted lands, and fight hostile life forms. Climb into your Skell and defend the last of humanity. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Available March 20th only on Nintendo Switch.
Yep, told you, TV spot. I have a whole bunch of Xenoblade Chronicle games that I have yet still to play on the Switch. I know it's kind of sad, but hey, I got kids. Life be lifing. I will probably add this to the pile. But Tafara, Joe, Tafara, have you ever played Xenoblade Chronicles before?
I have not. Xenoblade and Fire Emblem were very much games introduced to me by Smash. Never jumped into the solo series. Very much learned the characters through that franchise. I get the appeal, but I know who I am. I'm gonna want the entire lore of everything I can get. That's why even with Zelda games, I limit myself to like the core 3 that are connected and haven't touched anything else.
Gotcha. Well, Joe, I know you play more Xenoblade than I have, sir. Picking this up or waiting for it to go on sale?
I already have it pre-ordered. And pre-ordered it on my thing. Oh, Tafara, you'll love this because when Xenoblade 2 goes full anime, like full anime.
Like during the cutscenes or the entire game?
Yes.
All the above.
Also, Rex is a champion. The protagonist of 2, he is an anime character for rom-coms, for anime harem rom-coms, because he gets everybody.
Ah. That's good. That's interesting to know. But
and then you see what happens to them after 2 in 3, which is the best little photograph ever. And you're like, oh, apparently monogamy is not a thing in this world.
Damn. Well, it comes out March 20th for 10 if you're interested in that. Also,
I am really looking forward to this one because sorry. I am really looking forward to this one because the one thing that Xenogears had, and to a lesser extent what you can get out of those hour-and-a-half long cutscenes from Xenosaga, is this game brings back the giant robots. You in the Xenoblade Chronicles game, you get like super weapons, and by that I mean super swords and everything else. This one, where you transform into like a bio-organic mech. In this one, we bring back the big hefty robots, and I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. Well, again, comes out March 20th. As Joe has already pre-ordered, I have to get on the ball and start going down my backlog. Also, Assassin's Creed Shadows, because we're getting close. Who knew that the simple fact of the matter is, we used to report a long time ago how it kept on getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. Well, we now have a release date and a new TV spot.
We move unseen, shaping history.
Against corruption and brutality.
through deception.
Through virtue.
Hope grows in shadows. A promise whispered.
A vow declared.
An allegiance
sealed in blood. From darkness,
a new dawn.
Justice
is forged in the shadows.
All right, guys, and that's the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Not too far off, 6 days from now, will be available to go ahead and get. Pre-orders still out there. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. With all due respect to the ninja and the storyline, I'm definitely playing the samurai. I'm definitely playing Yusuke. I'm definitely the samurai. I am not doing stealth. I am using brute force throughout this entire game because we finally get to play. For a lot of people that don't know this, yes, they are historical characters. Yes, Yusuke is a historical character. Yes, he is a black samurai. Yes, you have to deal with it. And no, I don't feel bad about telling you. But I'm definitely playing him. I know I will play the ninja co-part sometime. But again, 6 days from now, I'm looking forward to it. Safari, Joe, what do you guys think?
I think I'll let people check it out first and see what they say. There was one tweet interaction about this damn game I am trying to find now because it was absolutely hilarious, and I'm seeing if I can dig it up because I think whoever runs the Assassin's Creed account, I guess, is just sick of Grums and all the race grifter shit because they were trolling this man hard from like the official account last week.
Uh-huh.
But I think the game's going to be good. I think it'll do fine. I think they will at least prove themselves that any delays or pushbacks they had were necessary so that they could keep from having any day one issues. I'm hoping they make a profit.
Yep, I can see that. Joe?
Well, they need to make a profit because at this point, Ubisoft is banking everything on this.
Yep.
Also, I learned that there's another mode called True Dialogue mode or something where it just gives canon mode.
Canon mode.
Where it gives you all the what you should have chose proper dialogue, meaning if you're playing this sure. Okay.
It's kind of like it's correcting you. It's like you have chosen poorly. It's like
no, I think it literally just chooses the correct tree for you no matter what.
Oh, so it forces it. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So it's canon mode. So you're doing the proper game script, not making Yusuke or what's her name?
I forgot her name that fast.
Look, my love of robots won out over my love of ninja in this. Plus, I refuse to call this Assassin's Creed. This is just Tenchu whatever. This is just Tenchu 6.
But also, we have to give Ubisoft credit because me and Joe did cover this game. We've been covering this game along with Safari, and there was a story about how Ubisoft didn't seem to have a problem destroying shrines in the game, which we understand from our Eastern brothers and sisters. Destroying shrines or mentioning destroying Japanese shrines, kind of a no-no. Matter of fact, don't do it because not only is that your biggest market compared to, and yes, the Far East market is way bigger than the U.S. market. So you may not want to tick them off in saying in a game you can destroy shrines. Just saying.
I know some of the people going around doing it during the test gameplay. The whole thing was okay, but you don't have to. You're willingly doing this, and you're just throwing it on purpose to be upset. Why did you load it in and you loaded a new game and specifically looked to go do this? So what is your upsetness about? But yeah, it was I didn't see what Grums tweeted, but the official Assassin's Creed account said, "Thank you for considering us a top publisher. While our media ads typically don't allow comments, our regular posts do." And then it's Mighty Keith. The AC Shadows account trolling Grums was not on my bingo card for this year. But getting Rexio about his mortal enemy, he might as well just end it all.
I mean, still, but yeah, that was outside of the Yusuke, because again, some folks were like, "Why do we have a black samurai in an Assassin's Creed game?" I'm like, historically, but at the same time, we've been asking for a Japan Ninja Assassin's Creed game, and we finally got it. Although in Joe's case, we got Tenchu. We got the next iteration of Tenchu in Joe's case.
It's the same thing.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. But it's amazing to me that whenever it comes to games like this, where there's more innovation, there's more diversity, that some people can have a problem with it. I'm like, quit trying to guilt shame the game into already failing. Because, like Joe said, Ubisoft is definitely rolling the ball on this heavy. It just depends on whether or not, like Tafara said, maybe they got the bugs worked out. Maybe, the rollout will be smooth. Maybe you won't have a Cyberpunk 2027 moment. We won't know. But we hope Ubisoft has done well, because I definitely will be playing this game. Tafara will be waiting to hear our comments, because, trust me, that man plays enough games, and he walks. Which, if you haven't seen on Tafara TV and when he's ever on Twitch, because I know you're gonna be getting back to that soon, as far as gaming and walking, because my God, sir,
dude, whenever I can find one, dude, people on Facebook Marketplace are so damn shady. Every time I think I find one, it's like, oh, it's affordable, but then they don't respond, or they don't go to the meetup thing, or then the account or the listing goes down, but it pops up under another account. I'm like, is anyone in here real?
I mean, try getting a car, but no, you got a fair point. But Tafari, I'm going to keep with you, sir, because you was on assignment. I mean, Tafari is always working. He says he's on vacation, but honestly, he's always working. Just this past weekend, sir, you were at BlurredCon in DC, and you actually got to do a lot of cool things. Of course, you can go to the BlurredStation.com website. You can go to BlurredCon and actually view the stream on YouTube to catch everything that we missed. Other our podcast brethren, Tafari and Geek by Heart and Room Full of Blurs and Neon Vibes and Three Blurred Geeks. I can keep going down the list. There were a lot of people that actually came on there and actually interviewed the individuals, did their own shows, saw a lot. But Tafari, do you want to explain BlurredCon 2025 and how it went and how it was and what you guys got to enjoy?
Yeah, BlurredCon was cool. I get it. They had a lot less time to plan this year. Also having to pivot from your headliner passing away, closing in on the date. Of course, rest in peace, Tony Todd. You will severely be missed. They did, I believe, a tribute or a Candyman tribute photo shoot as well. Black Nerd Convention, hang out for 3 days. Very much appreciated the cooler weather this time, because between some of the heavier cosplays and the power lines and the Predator shoot that Demetrius organized, I think the cold weather worked for everyone a lot better. We got put in a different location, so when you walk into the hotel, there's like this lobby area off in the cut. So they gave us all of that instead of kind of like the little back corner area that we had last year. Demetrius, I thought was about to get us kicked out because he bojacked another television. So I thought it was about to be Atlantic Comic Con 2.0. So it was me, him, and CJ from Three Black Geeks, and we're like mapping out the area. So I'm over here because there's like a little walk-in area, and for the 3 years I've been here, I didn't know that this part could do this. So I just take a chair and just kick it in the middle of the walkway so nobody comes in. Demetrius is over here pulling a TV that I didn't even know folded out this far. I thought it was mounted. And you see him just like wriggling it. CJ's trying to move the print because they got us in the middle of the print area of the hotel. CJ's trying to move the printer and the monitors. So we hear this guy come and say, "Hey, fellas," and we're just like, "Ah, shit, here we go." So we thought we were about to get in trouble. And the dude moves the chair. He's like, "By the way, apparently there's like this little hidden compartment and there's a door you can put together to like block off our spot." And we all just like sighed. We're like, cool. So he's not bothered by anything we're doing. So, we had some sponsors this year. We had a lot of giveaways, a lot of kids. Gave a lot of stuff away to kids. We had T-shirts, trading cards, posters, sweatpants, thank God, because it was cold. Tank tops. I'm trying to think what else. And a comic book. So a lot of stuff we gave out to like the younger kids. How do we kill the
Yep. I'm sorry, you keep going because I was trying to get this to show the way I wanted to show, but my system decided it was going to do otherwise.
I know there's a way to kill the echo out. Does everyone but one person mute?
Say what?
I say, is it everyone but the person talking has to mute, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, so try to everybody mute but me, and let's see if that works.
All right.
No, put the photo back up while we're like this. Okay. Nope. Shit.
Told you, we tried. But really quickly, guys, because I wanted to talk about it, because again, if you've never been to a con, I highly recommend that you should. BlurCon being one of those. As you can see, a lot of our podcast brethren there. Of course, Safari, Midnight Comics, Room Full of Blurs, Geek by Heart, Anime, which, as you can see, all dressed up. And we can keep going through this. Of course, Tafari, of course, was a birthday boy. Yep, I'm gonna show it. You put it there. Which they went ahead and celebrated, and of course, everybody had fun there, including a wild Shoyo, who's gonna probably be mad at me because I'm showing this picture. And of course, the rest of the fam there, along with I keep on wanting to call him. I'm gonna have to call him Captain Petty, but no, Hellspawn Cosplay. Of course, the Reverend himself, Navy Geek Montel, and others. All joined themselves, and again, this was the surprise for all those that were able to go to BlurCon. Janelle Monáe did come in on Sunday and did speak. Our podcast brother got to speak with, of course. Neon Vibes got to have a picture. Of course, the Yanu screening that they all got to see. Which Tafari, how was it, by the way, as far as Yanu?
So what they told us we're allowed to say is until episode 3 comes out, thanks for the invite, Cartoon Network, but it's a good show. It is very much, it is this generation's Avatar, I will say, with a different kind of premise. Basically, there is child prodigy things that are basically attacking the people. She has the power to basically nullify or purify them, trying to find her origins, corrupt leadership in African nations, chaos ensues, but they basically told us, because we thought we were getting 2 episodes, and then they gave us 3. So we sat there for a while. It was already late. We had already had a day, but it was a decent show. I think the kids, they were very much happy to get this out, I can tell. Q&A after at the Alamo Draft House, same place they did Vigilante last year. So a lot of good stuff. Got the Blurred Station team in there, most of us anyway. It was a fun time. Thank you, Blurred Official and Cartoon Network, for putting that out. Iano is a dope series. I think people will like it. It's very much, you'll definitely be like, all right, I've kind of seen this, but it's got its own cool little twist on things. Also, there's a lot of elements, capoeira. There's a lot of stuff they threw in there that you'll notice, but they wanted us to hold our full critique until all 3 of those episodes come out, which, okay. Shout out to Roy Coupe and the team. They did a good job. Shout out to Blurred Station. We got to do the stream. That's why I had everybody was nagging them about getting their own personal bits sent in, because I was very much on it about making sure there was no dead space, playing a lot of people's personal commercials in between, making sure the people who did pay money got their money's worth. So salute to all of them. All the drive-by interviews we got to do. I feel like Ozzy had a different outfit every time I saw him. Chris from Marsha Blueberry getting to promote their video game with Carl and Love Jones just put out, which WalmartUnlimited.com. It's actually pretty cool, very child-friendly. It's like the type of thing they have you playing on CartoonNetwork.com back when that was still around. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Oh, yeah, gifts I got from people, too. From Miss Renita, she gave me a My Hero Academia headband and a high
nice.
Still need to finish, and you still can't watch in English on season 3. There's one guy who's followed me for a while, but I've never seen him in person. His name on Instagram is the Black Bob Ross, THA. He was like, "Yeah, come down to my booth, man. I made you some stuff. I've been waiting to give it to you." He made me these like custom Sonic and Shadow coasters
Nice.
And then he's got these other stuff that he was like hand painting while he was. I don't know how he does this or how he got like the gloss on it and everything.
Looks nice though.
I made sure these got home safely, so thank him for that. My friend Quinn, who I actually ran into on the plane because it was her birthday and her first BlerdCon as well. She got to host the panel. The people who did anime Pop the Balloon was actually hilarious and not full of debauchery as you would expect. Minus the dude who went off as Lord Frieza, even though that was hilarious. I will say it was for a BlerdCon, it was good. I will say that if you're a veteran, you noticed what was missing this year, which was a lot. I very much hope now that we have a full year to plan, we don't start putting our eggs in one basket, because Janelle Monáe was great. But that was one of those things where it's like, if you didn't get in, you just didn't get in. Whereas normally the main stage stuff is like, hey, come late, don't come at all. There's plenty of stuff, other stuff to do. Whereas we kind of shifted focus from everywhere else that there's stuff and put it all on her.
Yeah.
So she's also nice. She was a sweetheart. She very much has a new a card game called Kaboom. It's very much a Uno rival with its own set of rules. Very easy to play. We got to do a trial. There were elderly people. There were people my age. There were 5-year-olds playing. Everybody had a good time. Also very much helped set us up so that I could get got Flo and Kira an interview, and I very much had to snap them both into place because they were just in shock and awe. So
we know, sir, and I don't mean to cut you off, because I would be remiss if I don't put the Reverend on blast, because this picture will always, because now that I have it, Navy's gonna hate me, because I will bring this up at every chance I get. For all those that don't know who this wonderful gentleman is, BlerdCon speaks, Navy Montel. I call him the Reverend because if you ever heard this man speak, this man does speak in a reverent tone, and he does get your attention. All positivity, mind you. Now, if you haven't noticed, I don't know, Tafari, you took this shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So notice, and I don't mean to play-by-play commentator, Navy is making complete eye contact with Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe is lost in the sauce. So again, to Mr. Reverend Navy, sir, you have Riz. I just want to point that out because you made a very intelligent, wonderful woman and an incredible actress and songstress. You had her stuck. Sir, teach us thy ways. That's all I'm saying. Beyond that, guys, of course, kids got to cosplay. I always love seeing kids cosplay, especially in certain characters. And like Tafari said, a couple of them did get books, books and artware, and things of that nature. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself got a picture with Janelle Monáe as well as our card game. But yeah, I am glad that out of all of it, that you guys really did kill it. Like I said, life was life, and I couldn't join you guys at BlerdCon, but I'm glad that everybody was able to have fun. There was no shenanigans. Everybody behaved themselves. That's the kind of cons I like to go to. But again, BlerdCon is coming back next year. The theme is called Geek Nick. Take it however you will.
It's like, again, you got people my age who are like, I've seen the Freaknik documentary, and then you have people older than me who's like, you've laid down my trap card. I pull out the Polaroids that showed I was having a good time, and I'm like, I can't. I get it. I've seen what people say about it. I can't argue with your history of it if you had fun, and that's what he kind of sold it as. He's like, think of like drop top cars and barbecues. I thought we were about to say the family cookout, the kickback, BlerdCon family reunion, BlerdCon spring fling, spring bling. If BET still has the copyright on that,
and that's the thing that I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to critique. I want BlerdCon, just like every other diversity con out there, to succeed, to thrive, and above all else, you could have found a better name than Geek Nick. That's all I'm saying. A better name.
I'm mad that I guessed it as he was talking. Like, you can hear me in the background. He's about to say Geeknik, but then sure enough, the thing rolls out, cars and bars. But I'm like, y'all, if you can stage that one, bring back the rap show next year. if you want to do that properly, very much got the gift of gab. So it's if he sells it right, I'm sure, but he's just got to be prepared for a bunch of people to be like, hey, we had good experiences, and a lot of people to be like, hey, we didn't. What are you doing to make sure that I think a few years ago did like a remix of Freaknik, but made it a family-friendly event, and it went well, so it's possible. It's just a lot of people these days, the name does not ring well, but so many people had a good time. Like, this was Ozzy's first Blurred Con, and I wish he was there last year when so many of our friends were there. He's like, this is like one of my top 5. Like, I can hang out till 5 a.m. Man, that hour of sleep we lost, that hit everybody. Because, like, we were just... Of course. You're hanging... Because it's 24 hours, so you're hanging out in the lobby, you're just like, hey, this is great. What the fuck just happened? We would
we lost it. And this
is like, what, 2 to 4? And we're like, okay, wait. Like, why? What... We gotta open the booth in like 4 hours. Like, but I'm having fun.
And this is why I hate daylight savings time. But still, I'm glad everybody at BlurCon was able to have fun. And like we were saying, these are the cons that you want to go to, enjoy yourselves, and just really be a part of the culture. And as you can see from what Tafar and the others were able to see and do, they have plenty of fun. They have plenty of fun. So again, if you're going to be in the DC area next year, definitely check out BlurCon. You will not be disappointed.
Shout out to Tsunami from Three Black Geeks, because the Thriller was the theme, but so many people got starstruck. I think Janelle doing an impromptu concert at the party Saturday night threw them off, because no one really DJ to the theme of the horror vibe. So he ended his set with the song and the actual scene, along with flashing red lights, and played the bloodbath scene from like the beginning.
Oh, the trance scene, right?
Yeah. So he's like, I want to end my set with like a horror themed thing. So he played the song, had the blade stuff playing on the big screen in the background, and he's like, I thought somebody was gonna do that. He's like, no, we did the perfect cast about 8 more times, and nobody played Thriller. Like I think they're supposed to do a photo shoot that didn't happen. He's like, and there was gonna be a flash mob during one of the parties, and that didn't come through. But a lot of stuff kind of fell by the wayside, but it was good. Got to see Yanu, got to see a bunch of friends, got to help promote a lot of stuff, premiere a lot of projects. Janelle Monáe is such a sweetheart. She was so nice to everybody. Her team's also very nice as well. Shout out to Flo and Kira. There's about the noise cancellation on the Hollyland mics, because you can... I realized watching the footage back, you can't hear me and Navy's banter unless you like really focus. Because at one point they're talking, and Kira and Flo was like, "Oh yeah, we walked over." I'm like, "Y'all didn't walk. I had to push both of you." Because at one point they're talking to Janelle, and they're like, "Oh, should we get for the interview?" And I'm like, "Yes. You stand over here. You stand over there. Stare at that camera." And you hear Navy just joshing about it in the back, and I'm like, "Damn, those mics didn't pick up anything I just said."
Nice, cool. Well, I'm just, like I said, kind of jealous I wasn't able to kind of join you guys, but definitely will try my hardest to be on the next one. Hopefully when Zuri and Obi are a little bit older. But Joe, sir, Mech Warrior 5, Ghost Bear. Would you like to let the people know what that's about?
So we are talking about something that I will be doing. Double. So this is expansion for this, and that double thing is really going to bother me. Okay, there we go.
I think go for it.
I thought I had a workaround, but I guess not.
No, we don't. Go ahead, Joe.
So the initial game's campaign deals with the initial clan invasion of 3050 with the Nova Cats. This DLC expansion is dealing with another clan, the Ghost Bear clan. This takes place right after the Ilkhan, which is basically like the supreme commander of all the clans, is dead, and the new one is changing how the rules of engagement work. The Ghost Bear Khans, which are pretty much clan commanders that report to the Ilkhan, are planning their next moves and doing stuff like that. So we get like a full campaign, second campaign, technically a third campaign. We got some loud walkers.
I heard that. It's like, God, I heard that. I heard that from here.
Maybe I'm not talking about
Still double audio?
Huh?
You got double audio again?
Yep.
Dang. I tried my hardest. Go ahead, Joe. I was trying to put it up there while you were talking, but talk to you must be great.
Well, the game also lets you use what's called the mini-mechs known as elementals. You can direct them during combat when you're a mech. We're over in the Draconis Combine, which is pretty much space Asia, even though eventually the Ghost Bears go and settle in space Eurasia. The game will be giving us 4 new Omni-Mechs and 4 new battle mechs. The difference between an Omni-Mech and a battle mech is you can actually swap out components on an Omni-Mech and have different battle configurations. Battle mechs are hardpoint weapons, meaning they do not get change. We do get updates in mech labs. We get new areas of combat. We get to fight on the Hall of Spaceships in space. We're looking at a new enemy. So this is all coming out in April, so like in a matter of weeks. So I am very, very much looking forward to this. I will be streaming this because I absolutely love MechWarrior Clans. I hope in the future we get to do other things like a Jade Falcon DLC. Maybe not certain people in Jade Falcon because they're a little bit of what our current government is like right now. Not to be political. It depends on who you are in Jade Falcon. Or Clan Wolf. They're kind of the good guys for the clan, but...
Can we say anti-Tesla?
Huh?
Can we say anti-Tesla?
I mean, they all don't really work well together unless there's someone pointing them at a common enemy. So, yeah, sure.
Okay. But no, that's cool. I still got it. With mine, I still have MechWarrior 5 Clans. It's available on Game Pass. I have yet to play it because my backlog is forever growing, but I definitely want to give this a shot. And it does sound great. We couldn't show the mechs because, again, Streamlabs, Talk Studio just doesn't have it worked out. And we don't want to kill you guys with double audio, but you can actually go to the website for MechWarrior 5 Clans. You can actually see the available mechs they have there. Joe, you had mentioned a specific one that was a crowd favorite that everybody would want to try.
Yeah, the Hunchback 2C.
And why, pray tell, would everybody would jump on this, in case for those that don't know?
It has 2 autocannon 20s, which are completely broken in the game and pretty much murder anything within 4 shots. So it's a 50 to 55 ton mech where about 40 of that goes to the guns and 6 of it goes to the armor and everything else goes to ammo.
Nice. Well, Safari, have you ever played MechWarrior, or would this be something up your alley?
Probably something up my alley. I think this is all. So this is an add-on, and this is a whole new game.
Well, this is a whole new DLC.
This is a full DLC expansion.
Okay,
Yeah.
like most I've heard about it, like in passing, and then directly through y'all. So it feels like something I would definitely try at some point. Just trying to get through this damn Sly Cooper collection. I'm trying to finish 3 so I can have my life back.
it is time consuming, but then again, it really is fun too. But definitely check that out, guys. Like we said, unfortunately, technical difficulties keep us from trying to share the screen and talk without killing your ears. We apologize. Hopefully, it will get better because we need to definitely make a change about that. So 2 other bits of news before we get to our Invincible and Daredevil Born Again reviews. This news already about Gundam GQX. Which will be taking over theaters. Prime Video has announced that they will get exclusive streaming rights to the TV series, which means that Prime Video will be simultaneously doing streaming in Japan and 240 other countries, with the premiere set for Tuesday, April 8th of this year. Episodes of the anime will be made available weekly as the series airs, which each episode will be in both English sub and English dubbed. Joe and Tafara did talk about Gundam QX last month. And even I sat there and said, well, I'll still give it a shot. It's a little bit different from the Gundams that we're used to, although I'll be honest, I said the same thing about The Witch from Mercury, and after watching it, I loved it. So I'm going to give this one a shot as well. But I was explaining to Joe before we got started. I said the fact that Prime is getting the streaming rights to this, is it a little weird that of all the streaming areas that Prime is now considered one of the go-to places outside of Crunchyroll, Hulu, and Netflix?
No, not really.
But it's Prime. I mean, it's just, of all the things that Prime would go for, this is what they pick up. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's odd to see it.
I mean, not really too odd if you think about it. They had Kamen Rider, Black Sun, Shin Kamen Rider, Shin Ultraman,
True.
Shin Godzilla.
True, but how many other places besides the ones, 2 areas that we know would carry the same thing?
I think after putting out shows like Invincible and Vox Machina, and other stuff coming out like Arcane that compete with, somebody in the room is at least acknowledging these properties and seeing there's an opening and definitely getting them to capitalize. Because if not, this is probably going straight to Netflix.
I can see that, but I still want to give it a shot though, just because, like I said, me being a Gundam fan, I try to give every series a shot, at least 3 episodes to see if it pulls me or not. But we will definitely be reviewing that come April once out on Prime. The other news that we have, again, although this is comic book related, but still, this is going to be up Joe's alley because if anybody knows anything about Thunderbolts, I usually lean to him on his expertise for this. There is a new run for the Thunderbolts coming out with cover art by, and again, forgive me if I completely screw this up, a new Thunderbolts series that'll be written by Sam Humphries. The art will be done by Steven Segovia. And drawn by Tom Lima, who also did West Coast Avengers. Now, the new Thunderbolts consist of Carnage, Hulk, Namor, Clea, Wolverine, X-23, Bucky, and Black Widow. The whole premise behind this is that, basically, Black Widow and Bucky were responding to a distress call as they are forming a new team to take on, basically, the doppelgangers of the Illuminati. So, again, if you know who the Illuminati is in the MCU, imagine if they had clones. So basically, their run is going to be taking on that group. That's the gist of what I got from it. But Joe, did you have anything else more that you wanted to add on to that?
No, this is a very, very unique team, considering almost half of these guys were defenders at one point. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think the only two that aren't technically defenders are Black Widow and Carnage. And people need to remember, I don't think people need to remember, people need to be aware that this version of Carnage is not bad because it's Eddie Brock in the Carnage symbiote. They kind of a thing worked out every so often, so there's that. I mean, I'll read it. We're definitely going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I don't like that it now has to have that asterisk for no reason, just because the movie does. I mean, it's just a new team of Thunderbolts.
It is interesting that everything is an asterisk now when it comes to Thunderbolts. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm still wanting to give it a shot just because it is a different direction. It is a different team. Also, this issue will be released on June 11th of this year, for all those that are wondering. But yeah, I will definitely give that a shot. Safara, does this pull you in, or are you just looking forward to the movie, or what's your go-to process on this?
I think it's cool to see everyone is doing stuff with the property and just not letting it fall by the wayside for just a movie. I would not be surprised if nobody knows what the asterisk is except Feige and the team, and now the comic book teams are just adding it just because. I also wouldn't be surprised if the movie gives us a whole alternate title at the very end. They've already got promos up in the theaters that I saw today, and it's the entire team on a Wheaties box. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to see a comic run come out of it. That is a very unique team because there was all, like you said, Defenders and other Avengers. So, curious to see how that unit ends up as Thunderbolts.
Well, the funny thing is that the last run of the Thunderbolts book, when they were hunting Red Skull, is the movie team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the book ran out because I think the Thunderbolts movie was supposed to come out a little earlier, but because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, it got pushed back to this year.
Yeah. But it's gonna be interesting though when it comes out. But yeah, we're definitely gonna review it and give our thoughts on that. Now, before we get to our comic book pools, we did have one show ending and one show leaving us in shock for people that may not know the Devil's Reign story. So we'll stick with the show that we're gonna be without for a while. I am talking about Invincible. The reason why I'm bringing up the season ending and this specific picture is basically this was the closest to the comic, to the graphic novel that they've really gotten. Again, this is Conquest coming back after Mark was basically told to prepare the Earth for the Viltrumite Empire. Mark, again, was already fighting Angstrom Levy, only to turn around and see Conquest show up and say, you've been given time, more leeway than anybody else, and the planet Earth is still not ready for us. And he's pretty much saying, I am basically here to assume your duties and take over. If you get in my way, I will take you out. So the entire season finale was, the long and short of it, was the battle between Mark and Conquest. For all those that don't know, Conquest was actually voiced by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So that was a shocker to me because I didn't know. I mean, it took me a while to figure it out that he was actually voicing Conquest. That being said, Mark was kind of having a losing battle, even though Adam Eve did recover, sort of, to show up in the system. Even his brother showed up, and his brother got the brakes beat off of him for trying to help. This eventually did lead to what we thought was a death in the show, but come to find out, again, if you haven't read the graphic novel about Adam Eve, that she does find out that, she can resurrect herself and others. But again, Mark finding the ability to not only break Conquest's arm, but to literally headbutt this man into a bloody mess, only to have Cecil and the others finally show up at the end, completely and utterly late. But it looks to be that he did stop Conquest, but this is before Conquest basically treated him like his father did. If you thought the subway scene was bad, there's the beach scene. This is why I said in our Facebook podcast again. I'm like, how many times will you be used as a human shield and you don't get it? But eventually, Mark does get the upper hand. Conquest is stopped. For now, the world is safe. We do see what's going to probably happen in the next season. Of course, Cecil is actually taking all the marks from the previous episode and seems to be making them into robotic soldiers. We see glimpses of previous villains that are starting to make their comebacks. The strange thing is we did not see Alan and Omni-Man, which presumably they're still in the ship. We do see Battle Beast did win his battle and was picked up by an alien group, so we'll probably be seeing Battle Beast sometime soon. And Angstrom Levy has basically been given a decree by the people who saved him that they basically need resources from their planet, from another planet, in order to survive. Which leaves Mark, who's in the hospital, who finally accepts the fact that he just might have to off some people. So that's the gist of the entire season finale of Invincible. And Tafara, I know you watched it. What did you think? I mean, was it satisfying? Was it some things that we missed, or your thoughts?
Apparently I found out the Conquest monologue was not part of the comic, so I'm curious to see if they do anything different with his return to the fray when that comes up. Also, very much, I thought it was hilarious that he basically told him, like, you're not a Saiyan. You can't just get angry and get a Zenkai boost. And then he proceeds to pull a Goku and just bite this man's shoulder.
Yeah.
I very much thought it was hilarious that the Guardian, as a team, they just sat there and just watched. It was like, we will beam in when this is over. We're not getting involved at all. I'm not mad at Cecil for grabbing the corpses of the clone or the variants and making them anime, because I said that's exactly what you need to do. Grab all the other marks, even though they're clearly not as effective because they all have a Lord Frieza complex.
Right.
But they're clearly not strong for that reason alone, but very much take them and turn them into reanimated, which I'm glad he's doing. I'll be honest, I get the whole he should have killed people. I don't think the Maulers deserved it. I don't think they're necessarily like the worst people. I think they're stupid. I don't necessarily think they're bad guys, because they've actually shown like concern. Even when Angstrom first like mutated, they genuinely showed concern, and that dude fried half his face off.
True.
Yeah, I forgot all about Eve having the mental blocks. So I'm like, why do you not turn these people like into puddles? What are we doing? But I forgot she had it. Mark, I don't get why you keep doing these most amateur ass mistakes in your biggest fights. Like, especially if you know this is the biggest, baddest Viltrumite. Why did you turn your back to people? Why did you let that happen to you twice? But
that part.
You didn't get that mad when your brother almost got hurt, but Eve was the line. So make it make sense, I guess.
That was a Bulma moment. I was going to say that was his Bulma moment where he just got ticked off and decided that, okay, all bets are off. But this is after your leg got broke. Your right leg got broke. Then your left hand got broken by Conquest. And now all of a sudden you decide you want to fight.
Right. It's like clearly because he's now fighting with one working arm and leg. Like you can fly, need him to stand, you'll be fine. And he finally starts like leveling back up, and I'm like, okay, but why have you not been doing this since the beginning? Like it was said during the Invincible War that none of the variants who came to this universe are stronger than you because none of them actually trained.
Right.
It's very much Goku versus Golden Frieza times 17, and most of them got killed off by nobodies. So I don't know. It's very. I've also been wondering what happened with not Hellboy for 3 seasons. So I'm glad they remembered that he's a character because I'm like, why did we? It seemed like he had more to do before we just sentenced him back to hell for no reason.
And the fact that he's coming back, as well as nobody knows where Darkwing is.
Yeah, Darkwing and the other Invincible, who I don't know, got eaten by the shadow creatures. Rex. Rex was having too happy a moment. We knew that was going to not last.
Rex had a Gambit moment.
Once he said, "I'll be back," I'm like, "No,
you won't."
You and this character were not supposed to make it this far. I'm curious to see what they do with Shrinking Ray. I think Robot going by Rex now is still kind of weird, but whatever.
I mean, that's the way of honoring him, but yeah, it is a little weird.
I'm saying it's honoring him, but I'm like, dude, we haven't buried what's left of him yet. You're gonna take the dude's whole identity, but all right. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with Battle Beast and these other characters and the Coalition of Planets. I'm very curious to see how long this new whatever Mark path is on, how long that lasts, if he changes in 5 minutes again. Cecil does nothing wrong in my opinion because all his methods have been necessary up until this point.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just hoping we don't have that long wait for season 4. I'm hoping we get a season of The Boys or Gen V in between to fill in the gap. But it was a good show. I'm okay with doing weekly next season though. I don't know why they like these 3 episodes to start off. It's cool, but it's like we burn through the show so fast.
Yeah. At the same time, with the final season of The Boys coming up, the second season of Gen V, which I think we're getting Gen V first before we get the final season of The Boys. I'm not really 100% sure about that, but
they can't end the show and then be like, by the way, watch the spinoff.
I think Gen V is gonna tie into The Boys. At least that's my guess. But no, along with Invincible, though, with Conquest still being alive and the fact that Cecil pretty much has this man strapped to a bomb underground, it was like, he's going to tell me everything I want to know, or we're going to bury him under a mountain, apparently. But no, it was a good season finale. I will say that. I think, again, they kind of did a lot of detail to Invincible as far as to the graphic novel. Again, Conquest did not have the monologue because before he could actually say, he wants chaos, Mark in the comic knocks him halfway across the city, which is weird in the Prime series. He actually gets to say it. So there are little differences there. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It was definitely a good season finale. The Invincible Warriors coming up. I hope, dear God, when I see Anissa, may they find a different way of explaining how that's going to go. I hope. But let us know in the comments what you guys. I'm sorry, what do you say, Tamara?
So I was gonna. Well, that's actually it's semi-spoiler territory. Vague. It's insinuated. It's basically left up to interpretation. But I was gonna say you could magazine dreams it where you just cut to the next scene.
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised, but since Prime is okay with pushing, envelopes, that's what makes me wonder if they're really going to do it. But again, we'll find out when the Invincible War gets here. But let's know in the comments.
Does Conquest kill Oliver? Does he die during the Viltrumite War?
He dies during the Viltrumite War.
Okay.
Although, yeah, Conquest does die, but that's during the Viltrumite War. But that's only after.
Oliver.
Oh no, Oliver doesn't die. During the Viltrumite War, he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Well, where does he die? Because I thought he does die at some point.
That's like far into his adulthood life. I believe.
Oh, okay.
That's far. Yeah, that's farther along. Where he again. Well, I'll tell you after the show. But it's farther along than the Invincible War. But let us know in the comments what you guys think of the season finale Invincible. Are you looking forward to the next season? Things of that nature. But before we get to our comic book pools, we got to talk about Daredevil Born Again's latest episode. Again, we are going into full spoiler territory. If you have not seen Daredevil Born Again, the latest episode, you may want to mute us and come back to us in about a few minutes. So you've been warned. It does start off with the trial of the guy portraying White Tiger. The fact that Matt basically got him to reveal his identity, although got the judge to suppress it to let the jury not consider it. Of course, his star witness, which he went to great lengths to protect, decided to basically go silent and recount their testimony, which again did kind of screw Murdoch until he realized that he basically had to go against his own word and oust the man as White Tiger in order to gain sympathy, because again, this was a vigilante hero that was making the streets safe. This eventually did lead to not guilty verdicts across the board, to where the man was free to go. At the same time, Mayor Fisk wanted to talk to B.B. Ulrich, as he was explaining that vigilantes are not heroes. They are just guys in costumes that run around with no consequences, and that consequences must happen. Which we do see at the end. White Tiger is dressing up for a night patrol. You see him come down the steps, and then you see him get 86'd by a guy in a hood that has a Punisher logo on his vest. That's pretty much the gist of what happened in this episode. A lot of people were thinking, oh crap, why Frank? And literally, this is why I sit there and say, I'm not doubting anybody that doesn't read comics. I am saying that because me and Joe had sat there and said that this entire series was basically going to be Devil's Reign. If you have not read Devil's Reign by Chip Zdarsky, highly recommend that you do. It's a lot of elements that they are taking from this, that they are putting in Born Again, that will make sense, especially in the. I mean, not one of them. I mean, I'm getting that, but I'm talking about the Punisher scene where, again, you see a lot of cops, especially cops with the Punisher tattoo, which a lot of people were kind of doing Easter eggs. You see them on the neck, you see them on the hands, and of course, cops were not very happy with vigilantes in New York anyway. So I'm going to throw this to you guys as far as this and your thoughts on the latest episode. Is this basically how we're getting Frank in the fray?
I'm going to guess and say yes. So what, in his absence, has Frank become a martyr the way Joker was to like all of Neo Gotham when he had like all the fanatics who were like supporting him? Yeah, it's pretty much where the cops, there was a section of cops, because he even says it in the comic where he goes, there are some cops that just hate the Punisher, but there's a select few of them that are like, we get what you're doing, we actually approve of it. They even get Punisher logos on their jackets, on their squad cars. And in a comic, the Punisher does see this and he goes, what the crap is this? And they explain like, dude, we're with you. We love what you're doing. I mean, some of our brethren hate you, but we don't hate you. As a matter of fact, we try to do what you do. It gets to the point to where Frank literally rips the emblem off and rips it up and says, no, you can't do what I do because you actually adhere to laws. You swore to protect. I gave all that up, and I'm the only one that can actually do this. If you want a role model, go find Captain America.
and pretty much warns the cops, if I ever hear of cops doing what I do, I'm basically finding you out. I'm finding you out and you're getting smoked out. So the reason why this is brought up now is that I think, and this is just me, the fact that a lot of people saw this and they thought that the Punisher took out White Tiger, when really it was the cops. This actually brings Frank back, because for all those that don't remember from the last time we saw Frank in the Punisher, he walked off. As far as we know, he's been walking around, doing his work. So he hasn't been in New York City for a while. This may be the thing that actually brings him to New York City. And of course, cops basically killing in his name, Punisher's going to do what he does best, which is a problem for Matt Murdock, because the last time him and Murdock talked, they had difference of opinions on how to hand out justice. Although I'm going to be honest, it's kind of hard not to side with the Punisher. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. That I also think that we're going to get another White Tiger, because the mantle is passed down to a woman. And also, shout out to the actor that did actually play White Tiger, because he did not get to live to actually see his work. He actually died from cancer. So definitely rest in peace to that man. But your thoughts, guys? I mean, as far as Born Again's latest episode, with everything included.
All right, Joe. I feel like you got more comic knowledge than me. Where are we headed?
Well, I know we're not getting Mayor Fist to get the Thunderbolts to do his dirty work, led by Dr. Octopus. To take over the Baxter Building, but that's a
whole other thing, right?
I don't think we're going to see Captain America in the sewers leading Ben Reilly and the Hulk around as the Secret Avengers. But we are teaming up with the police, well, with at least one retired officer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we're doing, because this is adapting. This is still Devil's Reign. I don't know why they call it Born Again. I guess it's just because they can't have the headline Devil's Reign.
Pretty much.
But definitely Punisher's coming back. That's easily said. To deal with the cops. I really do hope that they give him that dialogue.
Yeah.
At some point, Matt's got to get the suit, and Daniel's becoming a bigger and bigger player for Fisk. Actually, I'm starting to wonder if that's like his secret son that he doesn't know about.
Actually, that's a good question. That's a real good question. Because I wonder if they're actually going to take that route. But you got a fair point.
And Fisk and Vanessa are in marriage counseling, which is kind of funny.
I still laugh about Fisk. I still laugh about Fisk, because Vanessa likes being the Kingpin. She loves it.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't want to give it up. But, it's kind of funny where Fisk is like, you can still do this and be fine, but it can't have any connection to me. That was his whole thing. It's like, you can be the Kingpin behind the scenes and run New York how you see fit. It just can't tie back to me. And it's almost like she still has a problem with it. It's like, well, you came back, and they all got up, which was in the first episode, where he comes in. Of course, all the crime families get up and leave, and she's pissed. She's like, you've been gone, and I've been running the business. 5 minutes you step in the room, everybody leaves. Wilson Fisk. Respect. I've been gone for 5 months, and yet I can still intimidate people. But no, it's going to be interesting to see it. I mean, of course, they're going to find some way to coexist. But yeah, the big thing with Matt is that now that he says he's not trying to fight, but every choice that he makes is taking him back to the suit. So again, it's like, how long are you going to sit there and be a pacifist when you literally just beat two cops. One cop literally just did a modified L on a kitchen floor just because you kicked him that way. You can't sit there and say.
I thought that dude was dead. I am surprised he got up from that.
Right.
We didn't even see the other cop whose arm he broke.
Nah, I'm pretty sure he was still on the ground. He's still in that. He's still in that kitchen floor.
Well, because remember, he confronts him in the bathroom, and then in the courtroom, and he's like, "Oh, I heard you got a black eye." And
yeah,
like I'm very much. This is the street level stuff I'm okay with for Marvel. Even with Secret Invasion, I was saying this is very much going to set up more political stuff than it is galactic, and here we are. It's like the post I saw earlier. It's like it's an insane time for politics in the MCU. You got Bucky's running for Senate. We got a Red Hulk president who's now on the raft and replaced by God knows who. We got Al and the Shadow Organization or whoever running, maybe even the Hand, who knows, at Avengers Tower. And we've got Fisk as a mayor calling out Daredevil, Punisher, and Spider-Man. Also, stop teasing us with Miles' family if you're not going to put them on camera.
That's the thing. I mean, he did name Spider-Man, he did name Daredevil, and he did name shoot. I forgot third person. Punisher.
Punisher, and then we had Officer Morales somewhere off screen. So I'm curious if they would allow any kind of spider stuff in these MCU shows, because I mean, Tom Holland cameo or episode every season would be great, just because Kingpin is one of his nemesis.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious to how that, legality, I'm curious to how that plays out, or if Sony can't bully them anymore, because after Kraven, I think they were done, or something happened to where they're not allowed to do that anymore.
See that part. If Sony doesn't loosen the reins a little bit, because they're still in this, we could still make great movies and all this stuff, and they're never going to sell the rights. I mean, they will lease the rights, but they will never sell the rights back to Marvel, even though Marvel has named their price multiple times, but they're just simply not going to do it. I do agree with you though. Spider-Man does need to make a cameo. I think, whether it's actually, the thing about this is it going to be Tom Holland, if you really want to be honest, because you could get away with just a sighting, but not the actual person.
I thought that's what they were going to do for Hawkeye, because they both take place around Christmas, where the end of the film is. So I thought he was going to swing by, maybe just web someone to a wall and be like, "You got it," and not anything that can have a sighting, no dialogue. Someone just shoots a web and he's like Family Guy. Everybody gets one, or just salutes and swings away. Something. I'm curious if people get see Miles' family at all now that his dad has been name dropped. We've seen the Prowler in the Spider-Verse movie, and he has potentially not been blipped, so he's had time to age.
Yeah.
So, also, with the way Frank was bearded and crazy in the trailer, I'm curious to see if this brings him out of hiding, or if they get a manhunt going to blame him for this killing. I'm curious to see if the White Tiger doesn't have any kind of reflexes. Like, how did you just let that walk up and happen? Is my question.
I mean, supposedly the ambulance is supposed to give him enhanced senses, so that's why I'm like, he must have just either toned out or just wasn't paying attention. Because I'm like, wait a minute, he's basically on the same levels as Spider-Man, just not as advanced. But again, I have to leave that be, because I'm like, I guess it's the way for them to push forward the story to bring Frank into it. But Joe, any other thoughts on Born Again, latest episode, sir?
No, good episode overall. I enjoyed it. I thought it was Frank too, but now you make a pretty decent point. It's probably just somebody with the Punisher vest.
Yeah, because I think he'd be because Frank would be more pissed about people killing in his name than anything else. But I'm sorry, what did you say, Tamara?
So, do we think Foggy is gone? Because God, that is a ballsy start to the show. That is.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's gone.
No, he dead.
I'm gonna be honest, because someone brought up this theory. I don't want to believe it, but that there was the whole thing that they pointed out a certain issue where Foggy had faked his own death and went into WITSEC, which I'm not saying that's possible. But again, Bullseye is a proficient sharpshooter. He can make. Someone sat there and said he can make it look like someone died. But it's one of those things where I don't know. I don't think he's dead. I think he is going to come back and I think he's going to come back in some form or fashion. But no, I don't think he's dead. I think that's just too much to invest just to have one guy in one episode and then you off him.
Yeah, they revived Electro, which was fine.
Right.
And made use of whatever they were trying to do with Danny Rand's story. But it's crazy because they wanted to get rid of both of them to revive it. I'm like, I feel like that first scene was really to solidify why they brought them back, because it's always been Nelson and Murdoch. But then the girl who plays Karen very much reminded us why she's necessary to this story, because you didn't catch it till like the third watch, but when he throws Bullseye off the roof, she's like panicking because she doesn't know which one of them just fell. So now she's like, did I just lose both my friends in 5 minutes? On top of all these people that Bullseye just murdered for absolutely no reason.
Right. So that's all. So like I said, that's always that too. But hopefully we'll find out next week, because I think they won't hold off too long on letting that sit out there. So we'll definitely hopefully get an answer on that. But again, let us know in the comments what you think. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was frank? But that being said, guys, we are going to go on and move on to our comic pools. Before we get to that wonderful part, we do want to shout out to Rick's Comic City. Again, Nashville's number one place to go to for comic books, for Funko Pops, for collections, for movies too, for movie posters, you name it, they got it. 2 locations, Nashville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, Tennessee. Of course, rickscomiccity.com, you can use that as well. We like to show them love because you see our television, you see our face on their televisions, where they show us love, so we want to show them love. At the same time, guys, if you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, please support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries, support your local bookstores. Why? Because they need our patronage. They need our dollars. Amazon is great. Barnes & Noble is great. But there's something about going to an independent or local comic book store. You go there for the experience. Sure. And also, physical media. Please keep up with it. You guys are finding out very quickly that physical media is getting harder and harder and harder to come by. Safari can testify of the fact of steelbooks. The fact that, Madam Web had just became available, 2 months ago? A month ago, 2 months ago, Safari Madam Web was available?
I don't know who sold out those DVDs or why, but it happened, and we just... I tried to buy Venom 3 just to complete the collection, and then it was sold out as I clicked it, and I think that was God telling me he wants better for myself.
Yeah. So again, buy physical media. Digital's great, but what happens when the power goes out? What happens when you don't have internet access? What happens when the power goes out? Just saying, you're gonna miss those physical discs. But that means
you can't watch anything.
Well, if you're like me, you got a generator because Harbor Freight had a sale. Harbor Freight had a sale, so I was at the ready. I said, never again. But you are right. If power does go out, hopefully, again, you'll stay safe, especially here in the South, because we do have rounds of severe weather coming. Hopefully, everybody will stay safe and dry. Hopefully. But, Joe, I do see that you got your stuff up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
Okay, how bad is this going to double? See, it doesn't double when we do it.
I don't know what it's about. For some reason,
I give up. Let's just go with it.
All right, Green Lantern Corps number 2. This is written by Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams, art by Fernanda Passarin, and inks by Auclair Albert, and colors by R.F. Rentaro. Basically, we're catching up on what the former Red Lantern Corps is going on now that they are depowered. Mm-hmm. Also, we are getting into a will they, won't they with Shira and John, which was never really a thing outside of the animated series, but all of a sudden they have history that I'm not aware of.
Uh-huh.
No, that's pretty much the book.
Oh, and the fact of for some odd reason, the former Red Lantern, I forgot his name already, was having issues. Thank you. Having issues being a Green Lantern, and Kilowog kind of noticed it. Like you'll get used to this. And of course, the sorrow it's interesting that Kilowog was not affected by the sorrow.
Well, that's because he's dealt with his pain and sadness.
True, but it was just like Kilowog kind of looked at him and said, "That's your ability." It was kind of an insult. He's like, "That's your ability to make me feel bad?" He's like, "Sir, you late."
I went to therapy. Really, this dude's weakness is probably just going to therapy.
Yeah. That's the part that was the part that killed me by it. But no, it was an interesting issue. It does set up for a longer story. But yeah, John and old girl, they awkward.
It made no sense to me because I don't remember them being a thing outside of the animated series.
They weren't. That was only in the animated series as far as I can think of. But yeah, it was just the closet scene while the dang cat, I can't stand that freaking cat, was patrolling. It was a really weird scene, really weird closet scene in that, but still a good issue though.
Yep. Next up, we got X-Men number 13. This is X-Manhunt 4 of 7, written by Jed McKay, inks by Sean Parsons, and coloring by Fuentes Sujo. This is a continuing left off where Storm is, where the X-Men are fighting Storm. I think they come to like a draw.
Yeah.
And Charles is still kind of leaking psychic energy because he's very distracted because his daughter is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Cyclops still kind of wants to just like off him because he's so tired of Charles's BS.
But Charles also decided to Grand Theft Auto Beast for no reason.
Yeah.
It was Beast, and then it was what's the old boy's name? Shoot. The other telepath. Crap.
Psylocke?
No.
Kid Omega.
Thank you. Because they had a battle, and he's like, oh yeah. Oh, just in case I ever did fight you, I have something that's more of a defensive mechanism that was specifically tailored to you, and it's your sister. That's messed up. That's a messed up moment. He says, you think I got nightmares? I got a trap card right for you. Just Cassandra Howe. Hi, Charles. If that's not a horror movie of somebody sticking their fingers through your head, nothing is.
It's fine. Like, we have read better X-Men stories from the Krakoa era.
Although Magic
we've also had some decent X-Men issues now, but it looks like Uncanny X-Men is just my preferred X-Men at this point.
Although shout out to Magic with the yoink.
Oh yeah, Magic just popping in, stealing Magneto's helmet, and literally just saying yoink. Good old Simpsons reference. Next up, we got X Factor issue 8, part 5 of 7. You know what really sucks about this? Is that this is Legacy 300 for X Factor. That makes me mad. This issue is not that bad.
I thought you were gonna say I was gonna say 2 summers they can't fight each other.
I mean, they got to be creative, but pretty much. But yeah, this is kind of a bummer for being 300 issues of X Factor.
Mm-hmm.
This just continues the storyline. This is written by Mark Russell, art by Bob Quinn, and colors by Jesus Aburtov. The fight just continues, and pretty much X Factor comes in, tries to claim Charles in the name of the U.S. government to bring him back to Grey Malkin, and all the X-Men are like, Beast just single-handedly points out, like, you have all your powers don't do anything to us, literally.
I love the fact that Beast was like, we can solve all of this without violence. He points to, what about Granny over there? What's your ability? I'm immortal. See, she can't fight. Damn. It's just the whole thing. It's like Beast said that, you can't die, so you can't fight. True. That was our whole point. As Beast is sitting there saying, see, there's other ways to solve this as everybody's fighting.
Again, we understand why X Factor is getting canceled.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible, but they could still do better.
It's true.
Moving on over to All New Venom. This is written by Al Ewing, art by Carlos Gomez, and colors by Frank DeMarta. We are still trying to figure out who is the new Venom, because we do know that at least one person in this lineup does have a symbiote, but it's not Venom.
Right.
And someone is shooting a pin particle gun that shoots Modocs.
Right. And mad about wasting pin particles.
Yes. There is like a brief thing where Flash Thompson, who's Agent Anti-Venom, is talking to the Toxin Symbiote, having a small conversation about what they're doing with them. Also, Sleeper, who is a symbiote in the form of a cat, is just chilling in the thing. We learn later on that he's actually controlling a piece of himself who's attached to Rick Jones, who's the new Sleeper agent.
So Rick is a sleeper agent. Again.
That's fine.
I expected more, but all right.
Look, my favorite thing with Sleeper came from the opening of Venom 1, where he's asleep on Eddie Brock's couch, like, oh, Peter called. Did you take a message? I don't work for you. Then go right back to sleep.
Yeah, but Rick still being a sleeper agent, I was like, come on. That's I ain't saying it's low-hanging fruit, but come on, you can do better.
It's Rick Jones. He's everything.
True.
Next up we got Spider-Man 69. I kind of wish it was nice, but it's not.
How do you explain Doom actually doing his job?
You don't, because he's not.
I'm not to cut you off, Joe, but go ahead.
This is written by Joe Kelly, finally, with art by Ed McGuinness, and ink by Mark Farmer, and colors by Marcio Menez. Doom finally gets off his butt to start fighting the Blight, while Doctor Strange chastises him. It's like, you should have been doing this from the begin with, but because you don't want to deal with loss and pain and put it on someone else, we're in this situation. Then Doom just blasts Doctor Strange. He's like, don't speak ill of your betters.
As Strange is pretty much trying to talk sense into him while still fighting the Blight, which is still weird in spectral form.
The crux of this is the daughter of Sidorak gives up her immortality to become a standard living being, and restores Peter back to life and makes him into a spider juggernaut at the end of the issue.
Spider-Man been lifted.
I can't wait for this to be over.
Spider-Man been lifted. It was interesting. That's all I was like, okay, so they were going to bring Spider-Man back in some way, and the fact that she actually felt human emotions, which is still weird that her brother is trying to overthrow Sidorak, and Peter is now Juggernaut, which is, I'm not saying it's not bad.
I think he's her Juggernaut because he can't be Sidorak because Sidorak is still bonded with Marco.
Pretty much. So that would make sense if Peter's her avatar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I hope this gets better when they move out of the storyline. Moving over into Transformers, number 18. I actually pulled up on this one. So we are opening on Cybertron, Blue Streak, Warpath, and Blurs. They're pinned down by Decepticon forces. But they're saved by the multi-spark Autobot Shredhead, who just obliterates a lot of unnamed Seekers. Mm-hmm. On Earth, Ultra Magnus is still dealing with massive trauma, talking to RC, Carly, and Beachcomber and Spike. But a defense force from Earth captures him in the thing and tranquilizes Carly. And meanwhile, while all that's happening, I don't know if I got the picture or not. I did get the picture.
RKO.
Two factions of Decepticons are waging war in Seattle, and the Autobots are trying to minimize damage until Devastator just decides to grab Bruticus and RKO him off of a skyscraper that levels 2 city blocks and all rages. And then Starscream and Soundwave start fighting again, and then Megatron just shows up and it's like, Okay, knock it off.
Pretty much. Although the RKO is still funny to me. That's still funny.
And then Optimus sees Maker is like, okay, well, we're retreating.
Yeah. Once he sees they regroup, he's like, yep, we got to retreat. So it was an interesting story. Interesting issue, but yeah, it just throws me off every time I see an RKO position. Like
Daniel Warren Johnson, art by George Crona, and colors by Mike Spicer. Please, guys, keep in mind, Daniel Warren Johnson is a huge pro wrestling fan. Every issue of Transformers has had a pro wrestling move in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, but it's still funny. I mean, Orton would be proud.
Moving on over, we got Void Rivals. This is number 17. And this is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Lorenzo Di Felici and colors by Patricio Delfiche. Here we go. Zerta Prime finally does talk to Sola and reveals everything about it. How the Quintessons built this giant ultimate weapon, which we see as a giant hand named Goliath, which I'm fairly certain is Unicron.
Yeah.
And goes through the history of everything about their war. Zeta informs Solia about the entire war that her and Alpha Trion fought. You do see a brief image of Orion Pax. They need to free Goliath in order to defeat him because he's currently at his weakest. Meanwhile, Darak, who's on the other side of the opposite side of the race of Solia, is being told, no, we got to keep him contained at all costs because he could potentially destroy the cosmos. Springer and Hot Rod just kind of sit in the background. Is like, well, they're learning how to operate and produce Energon pretty well. That's nice. And the Cobra Law troops come across a Quintesson cruiser, so everything's slowly starting to come together.
Yeah, this one was kind of a little bit of a slow burn, but I can see why. I can see why in this issue.
I forgot to put up road stuff. We'll just end there because we're running low on time.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Joe, for the comic book pulls. And as we usually do here before we wrap up, to let people know what we're doing, I start with the myth that I have to say 3 times now because apparently I've been Booker T. Safari, let people know what you're doing, sir.
Yeah, posted my review of this film. Please go see Looney Tunes: The Day the Earth Blew Up. It is a very good film. Please give 2D animation a fighting chance. I don't know why they're advertising it like it's only out today and today only. A lot of Looney Tunes hijinks. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Blurred, for all the birthday gifts. I need to find room for all of it now. Need to finish these anime. Thank you all for the headbands. Thank you, Janelle Monáe, for the card game. To be on the lookout. I have mail stuff I need to unbox, Steel books I need to unbox, comic books to unbox. Still working on 2 different edits for this Janelle Monáe release that we got to do at BlurredCon for both our friends. Stay tuned. I also may be taking over their YouTube channel for a little bit. I have also been summoned to go see Snow White on Tuesday, so stay tuned for whatever that's going to be. Haven't seen the original, so this will be an experience. Also trying to get my PC stuff set up, so I will get back to streaming once I'm caught up on all of that. Video possibly dropping tomorrow if I don't fall asleep at my computer, but stay tuned. A lot of gears turning, a lot of stuff happening. You'll see me all over the place.
Cool. Joe, well, let people know what you're doing, sir. As soon as I switch off, there we go. Well, let people know what you're doing, sir.
Playing Monster Hunter. That's pretty much all I'm doing right now. Just slowing on the streaming at the moment. I'm probably going to wait for MechWarrior to come back up before I stream again. Also, just because that free online MechWarrior multiplayer style game just wasn't netting any views, so we'll go back to stuff that actually does net views, and we'll pick up MechWarrior with Ghost Bear. Other than that, living life.
Nice. Right. Well, let's see if I can get the screen to switch back the way it should be. Let me try it one more time. There we go. Now, as for myself, guys, some shameless plugging before we do get out of here. Shout out to APR TV, alwayspressrecord.com. Why? Because our show can be seen there, along with other shows there. As I keep saying, guys, this is the table. This is the network that our podcast, that our content, and most importantly, our dollars should be going to. Why? Because Tubi is great, but Tubi is also well worth over $100 million. At the same time, guys, it's owned by the same guys who own Fox. Again, why should their dollars be going? Why should our dollars be going to make them rich? It should be us. So definitely check out APR TV, the app on all smart devices, or alwayspressrecord.com. Also, blurstation.com. Again, we talked about Blurstation earlier. We talked about Blurstation earlier, covering BlurCon with the stream. But BlurCon is also just a mini of caveats. Blurstation is also an entertainment hub. You can watch movies, television, music, things from there, all for the low price of $10.99 a month. If you do want to stream Blurstation, simply go to blurstation.com, select the Join Now button, select the Blur's Eye View Affinity membership, and select anybody there, including Tafara TV or myself, Black Spartan, and many others out there. We'll all appreciate it. But again, $10.99 a month to stream Blurstation. After 36 months, you do get the ability to own a piece of Blurstation, and it's never been more easier to own a piece of a network conglomerate like that. So definitely check that out. Also, before I do get to myself, I do want to always shout out people because we get shouted out on other shows as well. Definitely do want to shout out, again, Blur's Eye View. Again, that's where you see myself and Tafari and others on there. You can follow Blur's Eye View on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook with new episodes Tuesdays and Thursdays. Because, Tuesday's episode was great because we went on a tangent about Doom and the fact of his knowledge. Definitely want to go back to Tuesday's episode. Thursday, we did cover BlurCon. Of course, experiences there, things got to happen. A little bit of the pictures you actually got to see today. So definitely check out the latest episodes from Blur's Eye View from all socials. Also, follow Roomful of Blurs on YouTube as they have new episodes between Lady Mandalore and Navy Montel, as they usually have new episodes every Sunday at 6. They've kind of been reading, what was the book they've been reading so far? Roots of crap.
Bitterroot.
Bitterroot, thank you. They've been reading Bitterroot for quite some time, so definitely check them out. Also, check out Navy Montel at BlurCon Speaks. Again, also can be found on YouTube and all socials. Also, check out our other person, Geek by Heart, on YouTube. She does do streams. I think she's still doing Echoes of Wisdom, Legends of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I want to say she was probably streaming today. I apologize, Lainey, if that's wrong. Please correct me in the comments if it's the proper one. But you can find her, and I believe her husband Jay will be back streaming Gears of War 5 very soon. But definitely check out Geek by Heart on YouTube and all socials as well. Now, as for myself, guys, please check out the podcast, the Give It Podcast. As it says, the GB Podcast. It can be found on Facebook and on YouTube. I myself have my own personal page at Black_Spartan615. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Jump on the likes. We see a lot of people do like our show, but at the same time, guys, we cannot do this without you, which means that the likes need to be up. Because the more likes you get, the more people get to see, and the more we get to do this. So again, like, share, and subscribe. And again, comment with us. As you can see, we don't bite. We talk to everybody. That also being said, guys, con season is up and running again. The same rules still apply. Respect the cosplayer at all times. Cosplay is not consent. Treat people like human beings. Decent human beings. It's not that freaking hard. At the same time, guys, I got kids now. Kids are walking petri dishes, which means if they get sick, I get sick. So please, guys, wash your ass, wash your hair, clean clothes, clean hygiene, because if my kids get sick, then I get sick. And if I find out that you got my kids sick, I'm whooping your ass. And the third rule that I have for myself, that I have for everybody else, guys, in a world that is very, very cold and cruel, be nice, be kind, talk and share your fandoms. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool. But with that being said, as we wrap this up, guys, we will hopefully be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, with news that's coming out as we get ever so closer to South of Midnight, as we get ever so closer to a lot of releases and other shows coming out. We will hopefully be back then to give you our reviews and hopefully get you guys engaged as well. With that being said, fellas, any last words for we call tonight?
Go see Looney Tunes.
Go see Looney Tunes indeed. And outside of that, also to all you March babies, Tafari, myself, my son Obi, will be watching at Mayhem Media. Again, if you are a March baby, happy birthday. We gotta start doing birthdays a lot more. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed it. And aside from that, guys, take care of yourselves. Please protect your peace. Check on your people. Check on your strong friends as well as your friends that might not be as strong. At the same time, guys, find something that makes you laugh. Do something that makes you smile. Do something that makes somebody else smile. Outside of that, have fun. The world's going to be all right. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will all get through this, guys. Peace.